This is the book of Psalms, chapter 118 and verse 11. It reads, They compass me about, yea, they compass me about, but in the name of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I will destroy them. Alright, Shalom, Shalom Akim. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakorash. All right, double honor to my elders and apostles of the Great Millstone who rule and who teach well. Peace, blessings, salutations unto the hopeful elect Wa'akwat who are listening in truth and in sincerity. Hey, I'm the brother Gabar Allah, out here in Cali, coming at you with another lesson. All right, and today's lesson is going to be entitled, The Men of Old Absolutely Use Violence. All right. Or the men of the Lord absolutely used violence when necessary. And so will the Lord. Alright? The men of the Lord certainly used violence when necessary. Okay. Now, this is inspired because I seen a short clip. I'm not gonna put it up because it was like 5 seconds, but I seen a short clip where pretty much it was a caption that said, what man or what man of God would ever use violence or something like that, referring to the Epstein files. I was like, the Epstein files are bad, but what man of God will ever use violence? All right, and then it switches over to Elijah saying, "Spare not one of them." Okay, now if the Spirit allow, I'll get that account. Okay, because Elijah was cold, man. Elijah was definitely oh my gosh, Salakia, brothers, my damn Wi-Fi bugging out now. Which he's referring to 1 Kings 18 chapter. We'll start at the 20th verse. Let's see. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 17. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, and that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and thou hast followed Balaam. So he's saying, hold up, I ain't causing all this to happen. You did this shit. You didn't obey Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. You forsook his ways. You're troubling Israel. I ain't fucking troubling Israel, man. And you better believe Elijah was pissed. All right, because they're trying to put the blame on this man. Whole time, he's a man of the Lord. And the same thing with us, man. That's why they're calling us rapists. They're calling us terrorists, pedophiles. And the whole fucking time, they being found out to be that same shit, man. They being found out to be the same things. Or it's like not same thing, because we not those names, man. We not no fucking pedophiles, no damn rapist. That's you fucking people, man. That's not us. All right. And they started calling the men of Great Millstone that. They've been scoffing at the elders and apostles on this. But they all they have is word of mouth. They have no fucking proof of this, man. Because guess what? There's no proof to be provided. Because the men of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai is not that, man. It says, Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah said unto all the people, and he said, How long will we, and he said, How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be the Most High, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people had answered him not a word. You see? They couldn't answer Elijah. All right. Now I'm going to skip a little bit because, it's going to the whole account. And real quick, let me see. Oh, verse 24. And call upon ye, and call ye on the name of your powers, and I will call on the name of the Lord Yahweh, and the power that answereth by fire. Let him be the Most High. And all the people answered and said, It is well spoken. Right? Because he was as it reads in the verse up, let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. Right? So Elijah's pretty much saying, all right, now that we have these bullocks laid out, whoever answers by fire, let him be the Most High. That's the real God. Because that's how confident Elijah was in Yahweh. You see? Now, let me see. Man, that's just funny, man. It says, verse 26, and they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a god. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth, and must be awakened. So Elijah's cold, man. He's like, you know what? Maybe your God is out, out and about. Maybe he's out there. Maybe he's sleeping. Y'all brothers ever watch Dragon Ball? where they got Beerus, the fucking cat, and he's sleeping all damn day. He's like, maybe he's that. Maybe he's sleeping. It says, and they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lances till the blood gashed out upon them. All right. Now I'm going to jump down. Okay. And to get the point, it says, let me see. Because the point is at verse 40. Yeah, I'll just get to the point of verse 39. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, The Lord Yahweh, he is the God. The Lord, he is the Most High. And Elijah said unto them, Take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon, and slew them there. You see, the men of the Lord used violence. All right? The Bible is not just a book that, it's not a fucking fairy tale book. The Bible has blood, war, woes. And the men of the Lord were warriors, man. You see? They weren't afraid of no fucking blood, man. That's why I opened up with King David. And I'm going to go back to King David, Psalm 118:7. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai, taketh my part, and with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them. Oh, Salakia, that's not even what Salakia, I read the wrong thing. Salakia. Psalms 118 and 11. Salakia, I was going back. They compass me about. Yea, they compass me about, But in the name of the Lord Yahweh, I will destroy them. You see? And that's King David, man. King David is like, look, I'm they're surrounding me. You see that they surrounding me, but in the name of the Lord, I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill all of them. That's why even before King David was made king, when Saul was still the king, everybody would murmur when he would walk past them, When you see those fucking movies or those damn shows where they see the popular kid, all right, they see the popular kid walking around and all the girls are laughing and giggling and they flirting and shit. And, you hear people talking about how cool this dude is. Man, they got that from the Bible, man, because that's King David. King David, that's how I imagine it. Imagine just King David walking around, you know what I mean? And you hear women giggling and laughing as he walks by. You know what I mean? He's seeing all them, he's peeping what girls he want, And all the dudes are like, oh shit, that's King David. Oh fuck. Hey, Saul kills 1,000, but David, he's killing as tens of thousands. King David was the greatest warrior to walk on the planet Earth. All right. And the Lord said he was perfect in his heart. You see, real quick. Because I can really, shoot, this lesson can be days long, man. Just re-encountering how the Lord, how the men of the Lord would use violence, because even in the conquest of Joshua, I'll get this. 1 Kings 15:5, because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord Yahweh, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. And when you read that account, pretty much David committed adultery with Uriah's wife, and he ordered for Uriah to get pretty much killed. But that's the only really thing that David, that really angered the Lord that David did, because even David himself admitted it when Nathan came up to him and was like, hey, and he pretty much explained the matter in pretty much a parable. He was like, all right, so a king took a poor man's a sheep. The only sheep he had, that sheep was like his daughter, and the king had all these things. He had all these things, and the king still took the poor man's sheep, and that was all he had. What should be done to the king? And King David was like, oh, that king got to be killed. Imagine taking the only thing that this dude had, and King David was hot. And Nathan cut him. He was like, hey, that's what you did. And that hit home for David. And David mourned. David mourned, and he was remorseful about it. He repented. You see. And King David repented on that. You see, so that's the matter that's talking about. But King David was a warrior, man, and that's pretty much going back to the point of the lesson. You see, the men of the Lord used violence, and will continue to use violence, because what does the scripture say? All right, and I'll end it off here, Lord willing. The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 18, it reads, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. You see, the saints of the Lord will take the kingdom. And we have been described as what? The saints of the Lord. The men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai, beginning with the elect. That's why the Lord is going to give us spiritual power, Lord willing. I speak as a man, but Lord willing, we be those men. You see, which I strongly believe and have hope that we are. That's why the Lord's going to give us that spiritual power. And he's going to come through for us as he did in the old days. when the scriptures say that he weakened the nations, all right. You don't know what the Lord. Maybe the Lord made the men of the Lord quicker, reaction time like damn flash. Maybe he made the other dude just weak as hell. The perception of time wasn't the same. All this is nothing to the Lord, man. He can give a dude spiritual power like that, but he's gonna give his men of the Lord that spiritual power to fuck this kingdom up. That's why the scripture say, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war," man. And that's why I made that lesson the other day. To be sharp, pretty much, But that's pretty much the lesson, man. Lord willing was edifying. Lord willing, I'll make a part 2 because I can really go. This could really be a series, man. So hey, Lord willing, I can make this a what is it called? A what is it called? A part 1. Salaki, man. I just got a huge brain fart. But yeah, a part 1. And then we get a part 2. Lord, through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. But with that, I want to close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachak Wadash, the bond yet again to my elders and apostles of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, salutations unto the hopeful elect, Wa'akwat, who are listening in truth and sincerity. Hey, with that I say.